Power rankings. YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels back with some more NFL coverage. In today's video, we got post NFL draft power rankings, and let me tell you why Frogs Angels is better than the other guys. Not only you get to see my power rankings, I got three other guys' power rankings involved in Frogs Angels. We got other people involved. We got a couple of crew members, and so you're seeing four power rankings here in this video. Where else do you get to see that? And some of those other guys, they all have the same exact rankings, who they're supposed to put at wherever, and I don't think they stay honest. I don't think they put what they really think, to be honest with you. So, Frogs Angels got you covered. So let's get into this here. We're gonna start with my rankings one by one. Then we're gonna go on to the other guys' rankings. Discuss what I got some notes from their rankings. 32. Even though I like this team's defense, I like the talent they got and where they're headed. I don't think the defense can take over completely. I think their offense is going to struggle. They got a bright future, but my number 32 is the New York Jets. I think Darnold's going to start. He's going to struggle at first. I'm not a big Darnold guy. He does have a lot of potential. Even if he can reach that potential, he's still going to struggle at first. So I don't know, big time running back, no big time receivers. I like the defense. I'm a big Jamal Adams guy. They got Marcus May with them too, the safety duo of the future. They got some good key guys on defense. It's just, I don't think it's enough. So I got them at 32. Ranking these bottom teams were harder than anywhere else, so it's tough. But number 31 is going to be the Browns. Looking at the Browns roster, I want to put them higher. I'm a believer in their roster. Even though I'm not in love with their draft, they for sure got better. I'm a Baker Mayfield guy. He's my number one quarterback. But being on the Browns with that same coaching staff kind of gets to me. I kind of think they're going to mess up the QB situation. I think Tyrod and Baker can both play. It's just how they go about it. Who's going to start? I don't know if it really matters who starts. I mean, if you draft a quarterback one, I'm starting them. I'm definitely starting them. But just when they sub in the other one, it's kind of going to be messy, is my prediction. I hate saying it because the rest of the roster is pretty legit. And Myles Garrett's going to take a big step up. Maybe one of the best pass rushers in football already. So we will see. But I got them at 31. We'll see if they move on from the staff after this year. It depends on where they finish, obviously. Number 30. It's going to be the Bengals. If they're down here, it's probably because of quarterback play. Andy Dalton's not a bad quarterback at all, but is he going to get him anywhere? They kept the same coaching staff when they were talking about firing them multiple different times. Really on offense, they got A.J. Green and Joe Mixon. Does he take the step up? Defense, I love the way they drafted on defense, but is it going to help them that much year one? Right now, not really. Kind of got some guys on the decline on defense, so they don't really wow in any category, so I expect them to be down here. As of now, things are going to change. I'm still kind of in draft mode. I'm analyzing everybody's draft classes, and we're going to break those down in future videos and see who won the draft. So things can change here before the season starts. A long way to go, but I got them at 30 for now. 29, going to be the Colts. I mean, Andrew Luck, if healthy, can really make them better than this. They have some other weapons, too. They drafted pretty well at receiver. They got Nyheim Hines with Marlon Mack at running back. So not a spectacular offense, but if Andrew Luck is back and 100%, he can make something happen. But that defense, they drafted pretty well on defense. They drafted well last year on defense, but it's still going to struggle. I think it's one of the weaker defenses in football. It's got a bright future, but I think it's still going to struggle now. But it's really depending on Andrew Luck. They could be higher in this. 28 is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Another one depending on the quarterback. Tannehill stays healthy. What does he got? I've never been a huge believer in him, but I mean, he's a solid quarterback. He's worthy of a starting job out of 32 teams. We don't really know what we're going to get from Kenyon Drake. Looked pretty solid. The defense, they drafted pretty well, I thought, last year. It didn't show last year, but I expect big things from guys like Charles Harris. Tankersley did well. Vincent Taylor, I believe they got. I liked their class last year, so I expect them to step up. They're kind of just a balanced team that you really don't know what you're going to get from. So down at 28 is where I have them. 27 is going to be the Cardinals now. Another one, depending on the quarterback. Do they start Rosen? Do they start Bradford? I don't know what I would do because Bradford's actually pretty darn good if he's healthy. But I hate saying it, but I expect him to get hurt somewhere during the year. So you might as well just start Rosen, who I like. Rosen has a bright future, could struggle at first. Larry Fitzgerald, when does he start going to decline? Has it already started? I mean, he's not going to take over games like he used to. David Johnson's one of the best running backs in the league if healthy. The defense, they got some holes here and there. So I got them at 27. A lot of question marks there. A team that could be good. I thought that if Carson Palmer didn't get hurt, they would have been pretty solid last year. So Bradford's right there with Palmer. If healthy, maybe better. I don't know. Down. Let's go to 26. The Bills. Defense is solid. I don't know if it'll be as good as last year. Tre'Davious White's a heck of a player. Those safeties, you don't know what you can get from those. They played at a high level last year. You don't really know what you're going to get from them. Other guys aging a little bit. I love Tremaine Edmonds. I expect him to play at a high level right away, but it's one guy in there. I think some of the other guys aging, going on decline. Josh Allen, even though I like his potential, he's definitely going to struggle at first. So maybe need some more weapons at receiver. Does Zay Jones take a step up? We will see. I got him down at 26. I think they could be better. It's depending on Josh Allen. 25 is going to be the Chiefs. Now, this is lower than other people have them, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm a big Pat Mahomes guy, and their offense actually could be a little better than it was last year, maybe around the same. Mahomes was my number 2 quarterback behind Watson, and those two would have been my top 2 quarterbacks if they were in this 2018 draft. So I do like Mahomes. I don't know if he has the best targets on offense. They got Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. They added Sammy Watkins. You don't know what you're going to get from him. But again, the offense could be better. I expect struggles from the defense. That's why they're down at 25. I honestly think they could be one of the worst defenses in football, and I don't think anybody really realizes that. They've been aging over the year, but on the decline. Their best player is Marcus Peters. I mean, Barry's back, but is he going to be able to play at a high level still? Big question mark. I think he'll be good still, but he was the best safety in football at one point, or top 3. I don't think he's there. Marcus Peters is gone, like I said. The linebacker and the unit and the pass rush is where I'm very concerned. They drafted a few defensive tackles. Don't know if that was like number 1 priority there. So I expect some struggle from the defense. We'll see how much. It seems like regular season defense still wins football games. It seems like playoffs offense wins football games. So we've been talking about the league's been transitioning over to more offense. Used to say defense wins football games. I still think that applies in the regular season. I mean, obviously you need offense. They have the offense, but we'll see. I expect big struggles from the defense. Probably get some hate from that because everybody else has them way higher than I do. 24, the Ravens. They're a balanced team, but they're kind of just an average team. They don't really have any huge holes, but Flacco on a decline. They got average receivers at best. Alex Collins, very impressive, but is he going to get you anywhere? Let's be honest here. I mean, he could get better. Very impressive. The defense, I like Mosley. I love Jimmy Smith, too, if he's healthy. But, I mean, they drafted pretty well defensively last year, but they're not guys that are going to be elite or take that big step up. Suggs, obviously, on a decline on his way out. So they're just kind of an average team. They're pretty balanced, so that can help them win games. Their defensive talent, younger talent, could step up. We will see. But 24 for now for me. 23 is the Seahawks. They're only this high because of Russell Wilson. They're a mess besides that. Didn't really draft too well. They did get some playmakers that can be good. But they have maybe the best player in football. That's about it. Even though they still have the top safety duo maybe. They're guys that maybe their head and their heart isn't in it as much. We will see. Their defense isn't that bad, but no corners, very important position. It's kind of sloppy. The offseason was sloppy. So we'll see, but 23 I think is generous, honestly, where they're at. It's mainly because of Russell Wilson. 22 is the Bucks. The Bucks are a team that could be 30 or they can be borderline playoff team. I don't think they'll make the playoffs because the NFC is ridiculous. But so they're sitting kind of in the middle. It's really on Jameis Winston. I'm going to keep saying it about a lot of teams. On their quarterback. He played pretty poorly last year. Was not impressed. But they get Ronald Jones, who I like. I mean, Mike Evans going to play at a high level. The defense, they upgraded the D-line. Kind of a bunch of guys you know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. They got MJ Stewart and Carlton Davis. I like that a lot. They needed corners badly. They finally went out and got some physical corners. That's what they needed, physical. Hargraves, I like his potential. Just not a physical guy. He needs to play in the slot. He's just kind of be a lockdown guy on the slant routes, stuff like that. You can't cover it really deep, but I do like him. Slot is hard to play. So they did good this offseason, but is it enough? It's really on Winston, like I said. I do like Ronald Jones a lot, though. Maybe a dark horse for Rookie of the Year candidate. I said it. Yeah, watch out for Ronald Jones. 21 is going to be the Lions. The Lions are a team on paper. They don't really look that good on paper, but you could say that about the last few years. Like, how are they been that good? I mean, I wouldn't call Stafford elite at all. He's good, definitely more than good. Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, good duo. They added Kerryon Johnson, but you don't know what you're going to get from the offensive line. I do like Marvin Jones a lot. I think he's one of the more underrated receivers. I think you can definitely consider him top 15 receiver, possibly top 10. I think he's that good. But you don't know which Stafford's going to show up. The defense has holes everywhere. I don't know if they drafted that well. I think the reason they played well, maybe guys like Ziggy Ansah, Darius Slay, I think is one of the better corners in the league, kind of just made them maybe look better because his playmaking ability, or those guys' playmaking ability. On paper, they have holes, but they continue to put up fights. Those Lions-Vikings games, they're just battles. They're good games. On paper, you look at the two teams, how do the Lions stay with them? They beat them twice, I think it was 2 years ago. So, I mean, they're a good team. It's just on paper right now, I have them here. It's tough. 20, I got the Raiders. Another team you don't know what you're going to get. Hopefully Derek Carr stays healthy. Marshawn Lynch, you don't know what you're going to get. He's probably on the decline by now. Receiver unit should be better. Defense still has a bunch of holes, though. The secondary, maybe expect big things from Obi Melifonwu stepping up, staying healthy. Him and Carl Joseph. So we will see. I got him down at 20 for now. 19's the Bears. The Bears really helped themselves this offseason. A pretty balanced team. No holes anywhere. It's really on Trubisky. Does he take that next step up? He's got weapons. I think he's got an offensive line. Good draft pick out of James Daniels. He's got receivers if they're healthy. Allen Robinson. They drafted Anthony Miller. They're a pretty balanced team. They got some playmakers on defense, too. They got Roquan Smith now. I guess they don't have any guy that's going to really wow or take over, but they got some good players. Pretty balanced team. So I think 19, that's a big step up for them. I really do. I think they improved. Tough division, though. 18 is the Redskins. Another pretty balanced team, similar to the Bears, but maybe they have more of a developed quarterback, obviously, in Alex Smith. I love the Darius Geis pick, another dark horse for Rookie of the Year. They got some pretty young weapons at receiver. Nobody that's going to wow. Defense, they got guys like Kerrigan, Norman that could be elite, possibly. So, pretty balanced team. I like them around this area. 17 is going to be the Niners. I think other people are higher than I am on the Niners, maybe a little bit. I need to see more from Garoppolo. I am a big Garoppolo fan. I think he's got tons of potential. He went 6-0 at the end of the year. I think maybe people... I mean, that's impressive. 6-0 is good, but maybe people are forgetting he did throw 5 interceptions in those games, so I do need to see more. I mean, it's a true test. Week 1 in Minnesota against the number 1 defense of last year. I think it's gonna tell me. It's gonna tell me a lot after I see that game. So they do have some studs on defense here and there, but they're still in some developmental stage for some guys. I know they added Sherman, so they'll be a good team. But I just need, it's a team I need to see more of for me to put them up higher. But we will see. 16 is going to be the Cowboys. It could be a high-powered offense. Obviously, Dak needs to play better than he did last year. Zeke will be on the field. Receivers, question mark. They got some young talent, but nobody that's going to take over. Defense is a big question mark. They have some playmakers on defense, but they do have some holes here and there. So I got them here mainly because their offense. 15 is going to be the Broncos. Broncos get Case Keenum, so they get a little better at quarterback there. A little more than a little better, I think. Will he play as good as he did on the Vikings? I don't expect him to, but maybe close. Not far off. You look at, they added Cortland Sutton, my favorite receiver in the draft. Excellent draft pick. One of my favorite draft picks throughout the whole draft. Deshaun Hamilton, a great route runner. Maybe that Adam Thielen type, and obviously not as good yet. But maybe that Adam Thielen type for Case Keenum. And you already have Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. And I just remembered they drafted Carlos Henderson, was one of my favorite sleepers last year. They sat him out this year. I think they just played it safe. I think he broke his thumb, fingers, hand, something like that. I think they just played it safe. He is an athlete. So they have weapons for Keenum at receiver. They got Royce Freeman in there with Devontae Booker. Defense has been good. I don't know about Talib. I think he's kind of was on a decline anyways. Bradley Roby gets to play more. They added Bradley Chubb, so their defense is going to be better. Barrett played well last year. The more I'm talking about the Broncos, I want to move them up. The graphics here are already set. I got them at 15, but the more I'm talking about them, I'm getting excited for the Broncos. They maybe should be higher than 15. So sorry to the Broncos fan. Maybe I got you a little low there. Maybe only a spot or two though. So I'm kind of excited to see the Broncos. Who's at 14? The Packers. Yeah, I guess it's hard to put the Broncos out of the Packers. But the Packers, maybe I'm a little lower on them than everybody else too. Some people have them around that 10 range, a little higher. It's just really on Rodgers. Can he stay healthy? I expect him to. Can he play at a high level like he used to? That's the big question. He's going to be good if he's healthy. But can he be Aaron Rodgers? He doesn't really have the legit running back. He's without Jordy Nelson now, who's kind of on decline anyways. They got some receivers, but they're going to be guys that are going to take over. The defense still has holes. They got some corners, but are they going to be year one? They're going to be outstanding? No, but they got better there. Pass rush is where it kind of gets me. So there's things that kind of concern me a little bit, so that's why I couldn't put them in the top 10. But, I mean, they got Rodgers, so if they're in the top 10, somebody put them in the top 10, I'm not going to be like, no way. But this is just where I got them. 13 is the Giants. I expect big things out of the Giants if healthy. They were cursed with injuries last year. And Eli's got no excuses. He's got weapons. They got Saquon Barkley. The defense, I think, got better. I like the Lorenzo Carter addition. So their defense could go back to where it was 2 years ago if everyone's healthy. So I have the Giants here at 13. It's just a big what if, just if the team's healthy. Bottom line there. 12 is going to be the Texans. It's the same as the Giants. The team has to be healthy. There's so many guys that have the potential to get hurt. I hate saying that, but it's true. J.J. Watt, maybe the best defensive player in football. Deshaun Watson. Love Deshaun Watson. Let's hope he stays healthy. Maybe the best receiver duo in football. It's up there. Hopkins and Will Fuller. I'm a big Will Fuller fan. Just maybe the fastest player on the field. Maybe the fastest receiver running his deep route in the NFL. I know John Ross can be brought up. You talk about 40 times. It's different than football speed. Will Fuller is ridiculous if healthy. Another guy if healthy. Defense very good if healthy. So I got him at 12. I got a lot of potential. Just got to stay healthy. Number 11 is going to be the Chargers. A very balanced team. We go back to those balanced teams that it wasn't that high. I had them in the middle of the pack. But why are the Chargers here? Because they're a balanced team with some elite talent. I think I'm a big Phillip Rivers fan. I think he can still sling it. Obviously, going to start declining at some point here. Melvin Gordon, top tier running back. I expect big things from Mike Williams this year. Obviously, Keenan Allen, top tier receiver. Maybe not elite, but he's top tier. And then defensive guys, the defensive backs, they added Derwin James. They got Casey Hayward. They got Jason Verrett. Desmond King, loved him from last year. Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. So they're a balanced team with top-tier talent all over the place. So they could even be higher than 11. Now we're getting into the big boys, top 10. Number 10 is going to be the Panthers, a team that you don't really know what you're going to get from. You know, they're in the Super Bowl, and they had a terrible year. Then they were back last year, pretty solid. Defense, maybe the pass rush goes on a decline, but they still got good interior D-line. They finally got some DBs. I like that. Kuechly, obviously one of the best defensive players in football. Cam Newton, you expect to be at a high level. McCaffrey's second year. They got a receiver in DJ Moore, so I don't see why not. I don't see why they can't be a top 10 team. But again, maybe inconsistent over the few years, so that's why I have them at 10 and maybe not a little higher, but 10's good. Number 9, maybe a team I'm the most excited to watch this year is the Tennessee Titans. Maybe I'm a little higher than some other people are. But they're changing their offense. They're going to build this offense around. I shouldn't say build. It's already built. They're going to run this offense around Mariota. And when you see a guy that athletic that can throw the ball like that, I expect big things from him. They have Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis, good 1-2 punch there. Corey Davis, top tier receiver from last year's draft. You expect him to step up. And the defense is pretty balanced with some good playmakers. They drafted Rashaan Evans and Harold Landry. Kevin Byard was up there in interceptions in the league. Jarrell Casey still playing at a high level. I like Wesley Woodyard. Pretty balanced team. No holes. They got some playmakers. It's mainly that offense. I think Mariota can be a dangerous guy in that offense. They got the Rams-O coordinator coming over, so I think they're going to do it right finally. We will see. I think it could be easier on Mariota with this offense. It may look harder because he might have to use his legs more. He may be more tired at the end of the game. But it's going to be easier for him, an easier type of offense. I expect big things from him. I don't see why they can't be number 9 or around here. Number 8 is going to be the Steelers. I mean, it's an obvious team that's going to be up here. They do have some holes on defense. The defense could struggle a little bit at times, so that's why they're not higher than 8. But Big Ben still playing at a pretty good level there. Maybe not as high as it once was, but they still, obviously they got the best receiver in football, Antonio Brown. They got They added James Washington, perfect fit receiver into the mix there. And they got Le'Veon Bell, one of the best, maybe the best running back in football. So they come in at number 8. Number 7 is the Jags. I think people have the Jags a little higher than me. It's just, obviously I think they're a good team. If I have them at 7, I think they're going to be a good team. It's just you still don't know what you're going to get from Bortles. Obviously he's deserving of a quarterback starting job, so I'm not trying to say they need to replace him or anything. But you don't know what you're going to get. They do have other weapons, but they did lose Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns. I know Robinson didn't play anyways last year. Hurns really didn't play much either, so they made it without him. But they did get DJ Chark. I like DJ Chark. And then defense, the defense is very, very good. But is it going to be as good as last year is the question. Ramsey is obviously going to get better, and he's already ridiculous. Maybe one of the top corners in the league. The safeties, I think, can still play good, but they're in their 30s now. Are they going to play as good? Calais Campbell can still ball out, but getting up there in age, is he going to get that many sacks? I think he's definitely going to make an impact, but I don't know if he's going to be as good. You lost your captain in Plesnowski. Does that affect them? They have some big-time playmakers, but I don't know if the defense will be as good. It'll still be top tier, but I don't know if it'll be as good. Something that I want to watch for. Number 6 is going to be the Falcons. I expect the Falcons to take a step up another year with their offensive coordinator, Sarkisian, but coaching wasn't too good, especially against the Eagles. I think they could have easily won that game. What would have happened then? They had 4 plays from the red zone, well into the red zone. Bad play calling there. So I think more familiar with the team, they take a step up. They had Calvin Ridley. The defense, you got playmakers. Vic Beasley, Takk McKinley's gonna step up, I think, this year. You got young linebackers. I expect them to be better, but if they're not, 2 reasons. Could be play calling, and it could be maybe the secondary. I think the secondary is kind of hit or miss. They got some playmakers, but it's not the greatest. I think teams could throw on them a little bit. They were impressive at times last year. I think they'll be okay, but I'm saying if they're not up here at 6 or a top tier, I think those could be the reasons why. On to number 5, it's going to be the Saints. Saints, definitely a good team with Drew Brees. They drafted insane. They won the draft last year. Alvin Kamara is one of my favorite players in the draft. He can take a step up. They got some young DBs, obviously. Marshawn Lattimore, he can even get better. Marcus Williams, I think, will get better. Ramczyk was the offensive line rookie. He can step up. Their blocking's fine if he doesn't step up. But Drew Brees, when is he going to decline? Maybe he's not as good as he once was, but it's not far off. They'll be good. They do have a few holes on defense. Maybe it's safeties, okay. Linebacker unit is mainly what I was thinking of. So very good. Obviously, I think highly of them. They're at 5, but I got to start finding weaknesses here when we get to the top 5. 4 is the Rams. Not many weaknesses for the Rams. I think what keeps them from putting me in the top 3 is the linebacker unit, but they did draft well there. They did what they needed to do. It got better, but maybe not quite ready yet there, but they'll be producing pass rush productivity from the D-line, which would be impressive. Good DBs, too. New group of corners, though. Do they just figure it out right away? But the main thing is Goff. You don't know what you're going to get from Goff. Obviously a good quarterback, but can he continue to play at a high level? There's some part of me that's like, could struggle a little bit, but by struggle, I mean just not as good as last year. He's still a good quarterback. Hopefully Todd Gurley continues to stay healthy. Very impressive. Maybe the best running back in football. But 4, I think these top 4 teams really separate themselves. Very good team. There's just I have to find maybe concerns or things I'm not 100% sure on at this point. Number 3 is going to be the Patriots. Now, some of these teams are more complete, more balanced than the Patriots. They do have some holes on defense, but they got Tom Brady, the GOAT. When does he start going on decline? I don't know. I don't think I expect it this year. I don't think it's ever going to do it. I think he's all of a sudden just going to retire when his talents, it doesn't match up with his talents. The retire period. That's my take. But they finally have a clear-cut number 1 running back. It's Sony Michel. I love Sony Michel. Cordero Patterson, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I think he's going to do big things on that offense. So they do have some holes, but they have Tom Brady, so they're up here. Now I think there's a gap again between these next 2 teams. I think these next 2 teams are just complete teams. I can't really find weaknesses here. I think it's pretty obvious who 1 and 2 is. I think number 2 is going to be the Vikings. It's just a complete team here. Really, if I had to point out a hole, it would be the offensive line. It's not. I don't think it's that bad, and they played a lot better last year than they did the year before. They got young talent like Riley Reef. They got guys that can move around from tackle to guard. They had rookie Elfline last year, so that's their weakest part of their team. But I don't think it's weak. Let's hope Dalvin Cook stays healthy, but they have Latavius Murray as well. But Kirk Cousins is really the key here, stepping up, stepping into that team. I think he'll be better than he was in the Redskins. And just think about the Vikings. They're a playoff team with a young Teddy Bridgewater, first year starting, playoff team, won a division. Then had terrible injuries the year after. Then this past year, Case Keenum gets thrown in there. Didn't even start from day one, just gets thrown in there. Everyone thinks Case Keenum's mediocre at best, and he gets him there. So with a decent quarterback, people always say it's on Kirk Cousins, it's on him. I don't think so. If Kirk Cousins is decent, which we expect him better than decent, they're still one of the best teams, and they've shown they can do that. And the other thing people forget is when teams are the top defense in football, they don't exactly repeat it. They can be number 2, number 3, top 5. They don't really repeat it, and it's because maybe they don't have a full team of defensive players in their prime. But people forget here that their defense is very young still. Talking about guys on their rookie contract. They just signed Eric Kendricks to extension off it. Anthony Barr still on his rookie contract. Trey Wayne still on his rookie contract. Xavier Rhodes just off of it. Everson Griffin just off it a couple years ago. Harrison Smith just off it a couple years ago. The oldest guy is Linval Joseph, who is just ridiculous in that D-line. Daniil Hunter is just only in his third year. Is it crazy to say this defense can actually get better? They added Sheldon Richardson with Linval Joseph. They added Mike Hughes. Mike Zimmer is just the defensive mind in football. This team belongs up here. There's no reason why they shouldn't be in the NFC Championship game, bottom line. I mean, then look at their offense, too. It's young. You got to hope Cook stays healthy, but I think easily the best or the second best team in football. And then number 1 is the obvious one, Super Bowl champs, the Eagles. Same thing as the Vikings. It's a complete team. The best defensive line in football with ridiculous depth, too. They add Michael Bennett to the starting lineup. My voice is cracking. I'm getting so excited about this defensive line. And Michael Bennett, Derek Barnett, I was so high on last year in the draft. He's going to be insane. They had Josh Sweat. You can go on and on. The offense, Carson Wentz is back. Let's hope he stays healthy. But if he's not, you got Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP. I'm glad they gave him some more money. He probably deserves more. Talking about the trade of Nick Foles, I think the only way it happens is if we come to the deadline and Carson Wentz is looking 100%, looking very good. And then they made sure they gave him their money. So when he goes elsewhere, he gets the money that they paid him there. But I don't think they trade him. Then they could use him. They don't have elite running back, but they got a bunch of guys that can play. They add Dallas Goedert, great receiving units. It's just a very good football team, and it will be for a long time. Amazing front office over there, amazing coaching over there. I think we got to clear 2 teams there. I think we really do. And obviously you got to include the Patriots and the Rams, the Saints. Hopefully Drew Brees still plays as high as he can here, but when will he go on a decline? When will Brady go on a decline? It's just guys who feel like they never will. But that's my power rankings. Let's go on to the other guys' power rankings. Danny Provolone. Danny Provolone's power rankings. One of our insiders here. Go follow him. Finally got him to join the Twitter world where he belongs. At Danny Effin Cheese is his Twitter. Go follow him. So his power rankings, he's got the same 1 and 2 as me. He flip-flopped the Rams and the Patriots. Looks like he got the Texans a little higher than me, so he's a big Deshaun Watson guy, as am I, but it looks like he's higher. He actually dropped, I thought I was a little low on the Jags. He actually dropped them down a little more. Chiefs, see, a lot of people are way higher on the Chiefs than I am. I'm a little worried about their defense, but he's high on the Chiefs. Bears, I thought I was high on the Bears. He's a little higher, actually, so... Again, pretty balanced team on the rise, team of the future maybe. He's not a believer in the Panthers. I remember he told me that he's not a believer in the Panthers, and that's why he has them at 20. That's low. That is low. He He also let me know that he believes the Niners can easily move up from that spot. A little low for them too, but he's pretty low on the Panthers, pretty low on the Broncos. I think he's got the Cardinals dead last. So pretty interesting take here from Danny. The guy's a character, so go follow him at his new Twitter there at Danny F and Cheese. Let's go on to these other guys. Junior's the guy that's involved in our pick'ems. He was involved in the free agency videos. Let's take a look at his. And that's our Twitter handle at the top, at Frogs Angels. Give us a follow if you haven't already. But he's got the Patriots at 2. So me and Danny had the same. Eagles, Vikings 1-2. He's at the Patriots. I mean, I'm not going to argue it. Big Tommy Brady. Got to put him up there. He's got the Texans in the same exact spot as Danny. Interesting. Theirs are pretty similar. I think he's got the Bears one spot higher. What's with the Bears? We're all high on the Bears. Expect big things. I think he's pretty low. He's got the Panthers at 22. People are hating on the Panthers here. My guys, they're hating on the Panthers and the Niners and the Broncos. He's got the Dolphins at number 32. Interesting. And he wanted me to tell everybody about this, that the Dolphins suck and always will. He actually said that when he gave me his power rankings. So that's a little harsh. But he wanted me to let everybody know that, I guess, by him telling me that. All right. So now we're on to the last guy, which is Pete. Pete is involved in our pick'ems. He's actually won our pick'ems, most correct games the last 2 years. So maybe he knows what he's talking about when we're talking about this season. He's also got the Eagles 1, Patriots 2. He's got the Vikings 3. He's moved the Saints up to 4. Rams 5. I know he likes the Rams team. He's kind of concerned about Goff. He's not really sure about him yet. Needs to see more. Obviously, he thinks he's good, but needs to see more. He's high on the Titans at 8. I had him at 9, so he's actually a step higher. Now he's got the Panthers. I think I had him at 10 too, if I remember correctly. So that's weird. Me and him both got Panthers there in the top 10, and the other two both have him at 20. That is very strange. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that. What else has he got? Looks like he likes the Redskins a little more. Nobody's high on the Broncos. I like the Broncos. He does not like in the Bears. I think all of us have been high on the Bears. I think he's got the Bears where most people have the Bears. Maybe experts. They're supposed to be experts. Have the Bears at 25. So it's really on Trubisky. Really on him. And then he has the Jets down at the bottom as well. So maybe more similar to mine, except, yeah, it's pretty similar to my rankings, and the other two have pretty similar rankings. So interesting to match mine up with these guys, to see 4 different takes on the power rankings. We'll have updated it as we get closer to the season, maybe right before, and as the season goes on. We're going to start getting into breaking down every team's draft division by division, who won each division. Then we're left with 8 teams. Who won the AFC, who won the NFC, then who won the draft overall. We're going to break those down coming up here in the very near future. And then we're going to start going into predictions for the season. Rankings teams based on positions, breaking down team by their schedule, what they're going to finish, what their record is, all kinds of stuff. We're going to rank the players by position, all kinds of that stuff. We have pick'ems, weekly pick'ems during the year. We're going to upgrade those big time from what we had last year. We got big things to come at Frogs Angels, and it's all thanks to you guys, your support. It helps us grow, and we hope we keep growing. We hope we take a big step up like we did this past year, so we can keep on doing this for you guys and making it better. So thanks to everybody involved here for your support. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. That'll do it. Goodbye.